What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. All right, the Chop Fest continues 2 days into the week. However, what we saw the last 2 days is a big indication of a new cycle that is about to roll upon us. And in this video, I'm going to break everything down for you. First of all, if you've been following me for quite some time, you know that I mentioned the market runs in cycles. There are times where we are in a directional market, everything is moving up or everything is moving down. There are other times we are in a trend market where there are certain sectors that are really hot, such as the EV sector, all right, in 2020 and early 2021. And there are other times where we are just in insane volatility. That is the one we are currently in right now, that was brought on by the Fed starting to talk about raising interest rates in August and September of last year. That was accelerated by high inflation and then the issues between Russia and Ukraine. Something we haven't seen in quite some time is small cap stocks running and running hard. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that lately I've been talking more about playing the actual indices, and we've gotten away from playing individual stocks, especially in the small cap sector. However, it only takes a few days where you start to see some of these low floats, these small caps run real hard, that starts to ignite that cycle again. So I'm going to break everything down for you, and I want you guys to be prepared for it, because if you've been investing at least for the last year, you've seen this cycle before. So this is not new to you. All right, so let's get right into it. First off, today, President Biden had announced there was going to be a ban on Russian oil imports. Previously, you were seeing these oil stocks running, and they were running hard. One of them to name was Indonesia Energy, ticker symbol INDO. This hit, I believe it was a high of yesterday, $87. But over the last 10 to 12 days, it went from $4.50 all the way up to $87. That is absolutely insane, okay? And we caught this at the break of about 13:30. I alerted in pre-market and we played it for a few days. Wanted to play it again today, but clearly you saw today was a typical buy the rumor, sell the news. Everybody was anticipating, okay, an oil and energy, ban that to be included in the sanctions. And the second he announced it, it immediately just crashed down. I mentioned even yesterday, it was ticker symbol HUSA. It's a Houston, another energy play. Wanted to see us get above 330. I believe that one ran a total of, I want to say it was close to 1,000%. Absolutely insane, from that close of 189 all the way up to a high of $14. We had a little bit trying to in it pre-market at a couple levels here. And then, like I said, it was another sell the rumor. But the big point about all of this is, like I said at the beginning of the video, it only takes a few stocks to really start turning and getting this momentum going. So we are very early on it, okay? It could just be what is happening. Like I said, with the oil sector, all right, oil is running almost close to about $125 to $130 a barrel. All right, analysts expect that anywhere from between $150 to $200 a barrel. Okay, there was even some analysts saying it could potentially get up to $300 a barrel. Okay, the price could just continue to skyrocket going forward. And obviously that does play into this going, but coming from these sector areas. And if you look here, all right, and even when I started making this video, it's down a little bit because the markets are pulling, but the Russell 2000, all right, which is your small cap sector, is leading all of the indices very far. I mean, the S&P is down almost 0.5%, and the Russell is up about 1.1%. All right, just a few minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago, it was up almost 2%. Okay, really leading all of the indices. And a lot of times you see the Russell 2000, okay, lag. All right, and you'll see the tech sector lead, okay, or naturally the Dow, your cyclical stocks, okay, or fundamentals will lead, but not all the time with the Russell 2000. So keep that in your mind going forward. All right, these are the stocks that are your $4 or $5 stocks that can run, $1, $1.50. They run pretty much all day long. All right, and I know many of you remember Power Hour, and we joke about this all the time in the Discord, that it seems like the past, few months, there's been no such thing as Power Hour. All right, yes, there's been, the sell-off, market, selling off going into close, which seems to be a, SPY natural. All right, but getting those late day runners, even running into after hours, haven't happened. All right, so be prepared when the market does shift. It always does. Like I said, it runs in cycles. Keep a close, pay close attention to IWM. All right, which bounced pretty nicely off that 194 level. Now, let me give you a big overview of the entire market. All right, we'll jump over to the SPY. Guys, I personally don't think that, like I said, this downside is done. I have mentioned in previous videos that if they do raise interest rates only a quarter of a, of a point, a quarter of a percentage, 25 basis points, we might get a little bump in the market. However, everything else that is happening is really pulling it down. We talked about this W formation. I called out that 459 to 464, retrace. We almost got back to that level. We came back down to into that 420s. All right, had a little bit of a dip in the opening, during that invasion. Okay, when it first happened, I believe that was on the 24th. Came back up to the level, got rejected at the 200 moving average. We weren't able to really break above that to test again that 440 level. But like I said, I don't think the sell-off is just quite done as of yet. You have to think there is still some shaking out that needs to be done. The NASDAQ, the QQQ, has officially hit bear market territory, which is 20% away from the highs. All right, and like I said, that 300 level really isn't completely out of the cards. If you could see that all the way over on the left side of my screen, that 299.55. All right, and we also did have good support around that 316 range. But like I said, as long as you can continue to keep an eye on when it does return, you're going to have some amazing value on some of the stocks. I had mentioned some of these, that are just trading at very good values. And when you look at where their earnings were in forward guidance, stocks like Upstart, you look at Nvidia, which is another one, Airbnb I like as well, okay, to where it was, relatively trading, what the relative strength is towards the entire market. Take a look at some of these stocks, all right, that had actually posted pretty good earnings and they have good forward outlook. All right, guidance was everything in quarter one specifically. Whenever you're looking at earnings, okay, I always look at the guidance being more important rather than the actual numbers. Basically, what it does is it tells investors how much money are you going to make for me in the future. All right, I appreciate what you've done. The stock has already moved X and so forth, but what are you going to do for me in the future? So these are just three out of many that I really, really like. Okay, like I said, when the market begins to turn, but keep close eye on those levels for SPY. Again, like I said, that 400, 410 level is not out of the question. There were, even some prints that came through, all right, below that 400 level that haven't even officially gotten filled as of yet. All right, there's massive institutional buying. I believe that was back all the way in October, and they haven't officially gotten filled as of yet. So they will. But just remember, when we get that turn to that upside, it's going to be, you want to be prepared for that one. So start thinking about that. Okay, like I know we've been, other people on channels have been talking about market crash. I said at the beginning of the year, I don't expect an absolute crash. I know things are ever changing with what is going on inside, the government. Inflation is going to be out of control. Pay close attention to those numbers that come out on Thursday. And the next month, okay, in April is going to be even more important because that's when all of the gas and, inflation, inflated prices are really going to take toll. And if the Fed doesn't get to that raising the interest rates, like I said, it's just kicking the can later on down, kicking the can further down the road. But pay attention to that. When those small caps, start to get hot, you're not gonna want to miss out on them. Like I said, guys, if you want to join, I list these out every single day. We got a ton of people. All right, always have eyes and ears open, looking for key levels. All right, and what stocks are running pre-market so we can jump on them. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.